At Carver Gymnasium in Bellingham as part of the 2019 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. I'm Robert Lowry along with Sean Wally, and we've got the second of our men's quarters here tonight. It's going to feature the Montana State Billings men against number 4 Western Oregon, the defending GNAC champions from 2018. So Western Oregon is back. They have been the champs 2 of the last 3 seasons, and Montana State Billings under their first-year head coach, but a long-time Montana coach and a long-time Great Northwest Athletic Conference coach, Mick Durham, making a return trip to the Great Northwest Athletic Conference postseason. And these are a couple of teams that have a little bit of different styles, but again, that was the game that made that last game for us so entertaining. A couple of different styles, and I think that's what we're going to see here tonight between Western Oregon and Montana State University Billings. But both these teams, very, very well-coached squads, and I don't think this is going to be another one that's going to disappoint.
How fun has this been? All 3 games have been close and come down to the last minute. We're in for another fun one. 2 quality teams that are playing well at the right time. But again, we've seen all day. You throw the records out the window, you throw the stats out the window, mano a mano, duke it out for 40 minutes and see what happens.
Western Oregon 20-9 on the campaign. Montana State Billings 15-13. Their conference records. Montana State Billings split equally its 20 conference games. Western Oregon went 13-7. So that's kind of the breakdown there between the teams in that regard. In terms of their earlier meetings this year, they played 2 times. January 10th in Billings, Western Oregon won 81-65. A little bit of a rout there. Now the game was tied at 28-28 at the half. But then Western Oregon went on some kind of run. The game tied 28-28 at the half, 36-36 with 16:03 left. So again, you're 4 minutes deep into the second half. Over the next 4 minutes, Western Oregon went on a 16-5 run. And really, that was pretty much all she wrote there. 4 Wolves in double figures in that game. And it was just that pivotal 4-minute stretch that turned the game into what became a very comfortable 81-65 victory there for Western Oregon. February 9th in Monmouth, these 2 teams hooked up again, and it was kind of a blowout, frankly. Western Oregon hit 10 of 16 on threes in that contest, and they led 56-33 at intermission, and they were able really just to kind of go on to cruise control after that and come in with a 97-65 victory. Defensively, Western Oregon came up with 13 steals. 13 steals in that game, and I alluded to this in the last contest where Northwest Nazarene's a team likes to get after you defensively. Western Oregon likes to get after you defensively to the extent that they lead the Great Northwest Athletic Conference in steals this year. 8 steals a game. I think a lot of coaches would be happy with 8 steals in a weekend against opponents. They average 8 steals a game. Western Oregon had 23 steals in those 2 victories, and I don't think it's any shock to Mick Durham that his team is simply going to have to handle the ball better tonight and not allow Western Oregon those free opportunities.
It's interesting, Montana State Billings has 3 players averaging over 14 points. Leading the way is Brendan Howard with 15.6. So you've got 3 players between 14.1 and 15.6. Conversely, Western Oregon, their highest scorer average, Riley Hawken, averages 12.3. So you would think Montana State Billings would outscore Western Oregon by a bunch, and they averaged 79.5 does Montana State Billings. Western Oregon still manages 77.8.
The thing about Western Oregon, and this absolutely stuns me, you know how many all-league selections they had this year? Go ahead, guess. Just give me a number.
2.
Well, that's a nice number. It's a nice round number, but it's too many. They didn't have a single all-league or all-conference selection this year. which was absolutely stunning to me, especially because they have played as well as they have. But that shows a couple of things. It is being done certainly as a team effort. When you have a guy like Hawkins who's leading the team, averaging 12 points a game, you got a lot of other guys leading in a bunch of other categories as well. So this is really a Western Oregon team that has won this year by committee. Now that's not to say that Montana State Billings is a one-player unit. As you mentioned, they have 3 players between 14.1 and 15.6, including the freshman of the year, Brendan Howard. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. And Zach Rollins, who was also an honorable mention all-league selection this year. But the thing I think I'm going to be really interested in is the coaching matchup, because these are 2 true veterans. In our last game, we had a couple of younger coaches, not inexperienced coaches, but younger coaches. Well, these coaches today have certainly racked up a lot of street cred in the coaching community. Mick Durham, first year in the role at Montana State Billings. And one of the reasons he left Fairbanks last year and went back is because he says, I want to end my career in Montana. I'll tell you why he said that in just a second. While he was at the University of Alaska Fairbanks between 2011 and 2018, Durham went 92 and 103, and he was the 2013 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. He's also been a Coach of the Year 3 other times. You have to go back a little bit. 1996, 2002, and 2005 Coach of the Year for Montana State University. Division I Mick Durham coaching cred right there. He was the Big Sky Coach of the Year in 1996, 2002, and 2005. And when the opportunity presented himself, there he is. There's a good look at Mick Durham. And to his left, his right, your left, is Jim Shaw. Shaw in his 4th year, and I was looking up his coaching record. With his last victory, he has 100 coaching victories in 4 years at Western Oregon University. That is not bad. He was the Coach of the Year in his first year. He was the Coach of the Year last year in the GNAC, West Region Coach of the Year a couple of years ago as well. I'll tell you one thing. We have 2 excellent head coaches leading their programs onto the floor here tonight at Carver Gymnasium. And again, contrast in styles. Certainly by a full committee there at Western Oregon, and with the youth movement, frankly, led by the freshman of the year, Brendan Howard, for Montana State Billings. So, again, it's going to be an interesting game here tonight. I don't think there's any reason to believe that this is going to be any less entertaining than any of the 3 previous games that have been played here tonight. Happened to help Jim Shaw out there. He just had to come over and check who the starters were for Montana State Billings. I guess it shouldn't be much of a surprise to him at this point.
Or maybe he wondered who was starting for his team. You never know.
Well, again, when you have a unit like he has, I'm not so sure. I think you could just point at any 5 guys on his team and go out and just say, okay, you 5 go here tonight, because that's the kind of production he's going to get. And we're going to see a lot of guys here tonight do the honors for Western Oregon University. The officials coming by for the nightcap here tonight between Northwest Nazarene, or I should say what I'm saying, Montana State University Billings and Western Oregon. They are Tom Spitznagel, Travis Bain, and Ray Ames are the 3 officials who will be here tonight. And we are going to have the introduction of the starting lineup here in just a couple of moments. We'll throw it down to the PA announcer, and we'll allow that to be done here in just a couple of moments. But again, earlier today, women's action. Central Washington advances. Western Washington advances. In a game we just saw a moment ago, Northwest Nazarene University advances on the men's side. And now the 4th team to move on to the semifinals will be played out over the next 40 minutes right here in the Carver Gymnasium facility on the campus of Western Washington University, the host site, and doing a great job for the 2019 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Championships. And glad to have you along. Now, don't forget, all 4 games are going to be on the air here on GNAC TV tomorrow as well. Central Washington and University of Alaska Anchorage, noon. Then at 2 o'clock, it is going to be Western Washington taking on Northwest Nazarene. The 3rd is going to be the men's semifinals tomorrow, and then the fourth game will be the other men's semifinal advancing into the championship contest. Now let's send it down courtside for the introduction of the starting lineups.
The visitors. First, let's meet the starting lineup for the Yellow Jackets. At guard, a 6'2 senior from Rosath, Germany, number 5, Sven Yoshida. At forward, a 6'7 sophomore from Billings, Montana, number 12, Zaron Richmond. At guard, a 5'9 junior from Redding, California, number 13, Tyler Green. At forward, a 6'4 junior from Minneapolis, Minnesota, number 20, Melvin Newbern Jr. And at forward, a 6'6 senior from Pelham, New York, number 22, Zach Rollins. The Yellow Jackets, they are coached by Mick Durham. Here is the starting lineup for the Western Oregon Wolves. At forward, a 6'6 freshman from Federal Way, Washington, number 4, Eton Collins. At guard, a 6'2 senior from Olympia, Washington, number 5, Brandell Evans. At guard, a 6'3 junior from Colorado Springs, Colorado, number 20, Dalvin Bruschier. At forward, a 6'7 senior from Seattle, Washington, number 25, Caleb Warner. And at forward, a 6'6 junior from Vancouver, Washington, number 32, Riley Hawkin. The Wolves, they are coached by Jim Shaw. Fans, the GNAC.
So there are your starters tonight for Western Oregon. They will be in the home white uniforms. And the traveling dark uniforms, Montana State University Billings. And we should mention, it's interesting, Brendan Howard not getting the starting call tonight, the freshman for Montana State Billings. But again, leading scorer on the team. Transfer from Eastern Washington University. Had a chance to talk to Sven Yoshida yesterday, and he was a very pleasant man from Germany. Talked about coming over from Roserath, Germany to play his basketball in America. Ball in the air, and the tip is won by the home team, Western Oregon University, Brandell Evans. In Western Oregon, they're gonna work it side to side. Evans leaves with the near side. They're going to get it back out center floor for Brashear to penetrate and go inside. And his shot was partially, I think, deflected. I'm not so sure that maybe Yoshida or somebody got a hand on it. Down floor. Billings inside, and scoring the first bucket on the inside for Billings was Melvin Newbern Jr. So Billings with an early 2-0 lead as we're getting things going in this men's quarterfinal action. And here's a drive and a left-hander off the window. That was an athletic play by Caleb Warner to knock the game at 2. Winner gets St. Martin's, the top seed, tomorrow night at 7:30.
St. Martin's here watching this game with interest.
As far as Montana State Billings moving the ball around, looking for Yoshida down low, but he wasn't able to get the pass clean, and it goes as a turnover in this 2-2 game. Western Oregon into the forecourt. There's first chance we got to look at Hawkins, and he gets it off for a 3 by Warner, and Warner gives Western Oregon the 5-2 lead with a long-range shot from the perimeter.
One-man band, all 5 points from Warner.
Well, so far, I don't think that'll be the case at the end of the contest. Here's a penetration drive, and missing the shot on the inside, Montana State Billings. That was Tyler Green missing. Western Oregon down floor, an entry pass into Hawken, and a foul called on the entry pass. They were looking to get it down low to Riley, and he had a bit of a mismatch, as I think that it was Green who had him defensively, and he gave up a half a foot to Green, who they're posting up again. Now we're going to have an infraction against Western Oregon. And I'm not sure what, I don't think it was the foul call or the travel. All right. Travel off the inbounds. So Green going to bring it down the floor. The 5'9" senior, or junior out of Redding, California. At the head of the key, mishandles it a bit. Mishandles it, but picks it up again. Now bounce down low. They're going to try to work inside. Putting up the short shot and missing it on the inside was Newbern Jr. And on the rebounding play, a foul called. There's a good look at Melvin. And he is going to be going to the free throw line as he got a rebound on his miss and went back up and drew the foul against Western Oregon. The foul called on the Wolves. First of the night on them.
Newbern from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
A lot of good basketball players have come out of that part of the country. And the southpaw going to shoot the second one and miss this one. So Western Oregon, forecourt with the basketball. Here's a penetration. Good idea, bad pass by Brandell Evans. It was tipped out of bounds by a Montana State Billings player. Evans very, very quick off the bounce, attacking inside. He's going to throw it in from the baseline now. They're going to get it back out to Hawken across the top to the near side. Brashear, center floor against Montana State Billings. Both teams. Well, Billings looks like it may be playing a little bit of zone at the present time. Head of the key, long three, way off line left, and Newbern Jr. got the rebound off the miss by Collins. Now in the forecourt, Montana State Billings with the basketball. And here is Newbern. Going to get the handoff back to him. Mid-floor for Montana State Billings. Penetration, drive, shot no good, rebound tipped out of bounds. Nice drive there by Zach Rollins. He just couldn't get it to drop, and on the rebounding play, Zeron Richmond had it, knocked away from him, so it stays MSUB basketball with a new shot clock. Get it into the corner, and boy, rattling around and getting a shot to drop from the perimeter that time. Montana State Billings, Zach Rollins. So Billings ties the game at 5-5 here as we're 3.5 deep. Penetration and a missed shot by Western Oregon, but a foul called on the drive by Caleb Warner. They have Warner listed at 6'7", 190. He looks a little stronger than that. He got a strong upper body. And he'll go to the free throw line and now shoot a couple of free throws on the foul against Montana State Billings. Free throw is up and good. Number one by Warner. 6-5 as Western Oregon makes a change as Olanda Baker comes in to run the point. And the southpaw Warner with one more free throw to come. And there's a good look at the young man, and he drains that one too.
Warner shoots 80% from the line, drains those.
And now a little bit of full court pressure being applied by Western Oregon into the forecourt for Montana State Billings. Green with the basketball. They work it around to the perimeter, near side of the floor. Attacking and scoring the basket for the Yellow Jackets. His first points of the contest. Kobe Terashima. He just checked in, Boise, Idaho product, and there's a good drive. Look at his drive.
Both teams doing a good job early on of attacking the rack and getting points in the paint. Haven't been a lot of jump shots nearly 4 minutes into period number one.
So Terashima to the free throw line. Almost a two-hand free throw shot.
I noticed that as well. I was going to say, was that two hands? It worked.
It did look like it was almost a two-hander, no question.
It's almost like the Rick Barry underhand. If
Well,
it works.
Haven't seen that for a long time. And here is Western Oregon with Darius Luborn attacking. Collins had it, couldn't get a shot away. Now Western Oregon gives up the basketball. Didn't really get into their offense that time, I don't think, at least to the way Jim Shaw wanted them to. Terashima again. Montana State Billings working a lot around the perimeter. Neither team has got much. Well, here's a long-range three by Newburn Jr. Now a putback and missed on the inside. That was a tough miss on the inside by Brendan Howard, who is in now.
Got to capitalize when you're point blank, and now Western Oregon back on the block.
Well, that's not a good matchup there, as Collins at 6'6", 200 had Terashima at 6'1", 155 on him. That's a big mismatch, and Western Oregon regains the lead at 9-8. You can see that Montana State Billings just going to try to work it around the perimeter. Now down low. Howard can't get a shot away. Well, he finally does and gets it to drop. I tell you, Brendan Howard, the 6'6", 220-pound freshman out of Great Falls, Montana, worked as hard for that bucket as he probably has for any bucket all season.
Now's the time to do it.
Now here's a nice penetration move by Darius Luborn. Western Oregon likes to kind of split the floor and allow their, and here is Terashima. He gets bumped hard, missed the shot, gets fouled. Kobe Terashima going to go to the free throw line, but he won't do so until we have a stoppage in play. Timeout on the floor, 14:07 left to go in this opening half. You're watching the GNAC men's basketball quarterfinals on GNAC.tv. Look at a wall right in front of you.
Dear Adam, you're balancing a lot right now, man. I know. But continuing your education was the right choice. You can do anything you put your mind to. Remember how you transformed from a troublemaker to a mentor? It's like you always tell your students, to see improvement, you have to challenge yourself. Trust me, with the professors you meet along the way and the lives you impact, it'll all be worth it. Sincerely, me.
Dear Virginia, remember when you decided to stop listening to the doubters and pursue the career you wanted? I've always admired that about you. When things get hard, you just work harder. I want you to know that with your network of supporters who encourage you along the way, you'll not only accomplish your dream of becoming an engineer, you'll go on to help other students accomplish theirs. So don't worry, you're gonna rock this. Sincerely, me.
Back here in Bellingham, you look at the drive by who else? Darius Luborn for Western Oregon. They lead by 1.
Free throw line, Kobe Terashima. He was fouled on that last drive. Watch the free throw right here.
He is pushing that with 2 hands.
It is one of the more interesting free throws I have seen in quite a while. But again, as you say, if it works, don't break it. And again, when you look at how he releases it, he gets good natural backspin on the basketball, so it's a good shot for him. Western Oregon down floor, Baker, and a foul called off the ball against Montana State Billings. That foul going to be called against Green, the point guard, and he will go immediately to the bench as Sven Joshida going to come back in. A little more size there too. It looks like Terashima probably going to be running the point in this configuration. But right now, Montana State Billings on defense. And they're being attacked by Western Oregon. Nice shot blocked on the inside as Jalen Richardson was rejected. And doing the rejecting was Seth Christians. So Christians in up front. The big guy at 6'11", 230 pounds for Montana State Billings. Billings with the basketball and with a 12-11 lead right now. Here is Terashima. Ball stolen away from him and went off a Western Oregon player. Pretty good double team right there by Western Oregon. Olanda Baker and Riley Hawken.
Take a look at the other direction. Christians, the long outstretched arm, rejecting the shot by the Wolves.
So the officials now going to give the ball out of bounds on the end line. There's a good look once again at the Montana State Billings bench. Here is, well, a quick shot had to be taken and missed by Brendan Howard. Run out, Western Oregon with the basketball. Near side, Richardson going to get it out into Baker's hands. Looks pass off right. Hawken takes the baseline. Good little feed to Buster Souza. And Buster is able to bust down a couple of points there. And Western Oregon regains the lead at 13-12.
Back and forth we go. Seems fairly similar to the script from the first 3 games today.
Terashima kicks it back out high. They work the basketball off to Rollins. Baseballs it to Howard, and he is fouled. Trying to guard him was Riley Hawken, and Hawken was caught reaching. Non-shooting foul. I don't think they're going to give. Now you can see, here's the drive. But he was fouled before the shot was taken. Yeah, no question. Inbounds. Terashima looks.
Ball is loose.
Boy, it got loose. I don't know who he was throwing it to. Howard scrambling for it. Ball still on the floor. Nobody's come away with it. And now Montana State Billings, it was kind of a rugby scrum. And it was Christian who was able to come away with the basketball.
Seattle Seawolf style.
Yes. Here's a penetration. And boy, I tell you, Howard goes down hard, but no foul called. And Western Oregon on the run out. Baker, right side, wide open three-point shot. In and out by Lubom. Western Oregon gets the offensive rebound. Lubom, this time he'll reset. Won't take the shot. Crossover, pulls up off the window from about 10. Missed it. And Western Oregon now has to retreat quickly as Terashima brought it quickly across the timeline. So Montana State Billings again with the basketball. Rollins working to the far side for Yoshida, and he knocks down a 3. So Montana State Billings back on top. Seesaw affair. We've had one tie, and we've been back and forth, see and saw, if you will. Lubom, head of the key right. Near angle. Now back to the far side as they work it across the top. New Western Oregon. Now you can see the shot clock, and you can see that here's a pull-up pop, and missing the shot from the perimeter was a Baker for Western Oregon. Christensen was there for the rebound, and Terashima now with the basketball. Out to Rollins, and Rollins was like, what was that about? As the pass went over his outstretched arms for the turnover. Terashima and his team coming back to the bench. Western Oregon, they're coming to their bench, and we're going to have a stoppage in play. 10:56 to go here in the opening half. Back with more from the Great Northwest Athletic Conference 2019 Men's Championships after this break on GNAC.TV.
Western Oregon University, where together we succeed.
Well, welcome back to Carver Gymnasium. I'm Robert Lowry, Sean Wally alongside. You're looking at the stats. See anything?
A lot of even scoring, a lot of guys getting involved. Not one player taking charge just yet.
Lubom for Western Oregon. Works it down low. Hawken, turn jumper. Nice use of the left hand down low. Wasn't able to get it to go or make that Buster Souza. Now here is a drive, and Souza's there to block the shot. Rollins tried to get it, then back the other way. A foul going to be called as Western Oregon was speeding out of backcourt, and the foul called. That is now going to be the 4th team foul on Montana State Billings.
Souza making up for the miss by rejecting on the defensive end. See Souza come into your picture right there. Get that out of here.
Wow. That was on Newburn Jr., by the way, the block, not on Rollins. Now a foul called, an offensive foul against Western Oregon. And, well, Daliver and Brashear are not happy with the call. He was guilty of pushing off, at least in the eyes of the officiating crew.
Are they ever happy on when a foul is called on? Wow.
Western Oregon, again, overplaying defensively. Montana State Billings. Newburn Jr. going to get it out for the long-range 3. Up and good by Zeron Richmond. And with that, the lead now extends to 18-13 in favor of Montana State Billings.
Largest lead by any team yet tonight.
Now Souza cuts right back in the lead, little turn base jumper in the lane. 18-15 and back to a 3-point game. But the pace certainly a slower pace favoring Montana State Billings as we're halfway through this first half and then some. Head of the key, Newburn Jr. Back, his pass was knocked away but picked up. They work it to Yoshida for 3 in the corner, and this one comes up a little bit short. Offensive rebound, however, for Billings. And a pull-up jumper. This, too, is going to be no good. Not sure that was the play that was designed. Nice spin move and work it off to Souza for the land. That was a brilliant piece of ball handling by Darius Lubom.
Lubom pirouetting multiple times in the lane, finding the open man.
Montana State Billings with the basketball. Yoshida far side. Now here's a penetration move and a left-handed scooper by Terashima. 2017, Terashima down floor asking for the foul.
Exactly right.
Long range 3 on the right side is missed by Warner for Western Oregon. And Terashima back down floor once again. Gets it off, and Newburn tried to go in and put it down, but he was contested near the apex and the summit there. He wasn't able to get it in the cup. Now it's going to be Western Oregon attacking themselves. Head of the key, Brandell Evans is back in. Entry pass knocked away down low from Souza, the biggest of the Wolves at 6'8", 235. And we have come to another stoppage. 7:55 to go in this first half. It is Montana State Billings 20, Western Oregon 17. You're watching a live coverage of the 2019 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Championships on GNAC.TV.
Back here in Bellingham as you look at Kobe Terashima to the rack. Hits the hardwood. He wanted the foul, did not get it. Back to action. MSU Billings up by 3.
Western Oregon shot clock winding down. Here's a roller in the lane. Shot is no good, and a rebounding foul after Dalvin Brashear, I think, is going to be called for the foul, getting up and over the back of a Montana State Billings player trying to rebound.
Take a look at the battle for the basketball, and Brashear going over the back
of the much taller Howard. Generally, that's going to net you a foul. Here's Howard out high. Hand off. Around the outside, Rollins. Get it back off to Howard. A rolling shot in the lane. It's up and good. 22-17. Montana State Billings with the lead. We approach 13 minutes gone in this first half. Weave action out top. Penetration move by Western Oregon's Richardson. Now they slow it down. Stop and go move. Puts up the shot. Brandell Evans, but missed it. Western Oregon likes to try to break you down defensively and then attack the 10. Out high. Western Oregon now. Penetration move. Bounce pass. And bad pass to Yoshida from Green. They weren't on the same page there. Yoshida and Green talked for just a moment to try to work out the kinks.
Take a look at the floater in the lane by Howard for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, no wonder he was the freshman of the year in the league. Have plays like that. Nice soft touch by the big fella. Warner with the basketball, and he's going to be called for an offensive foul, no question about it. A good job by Yoshida to jump in his way defensively.
Take a look at him running through.
You know, I tell you one thing, I'm not so sure that if you would have called that a defensive foul, I would have argued with it too much, because I'm not so sure that Yoshida was in defensive positioning, a solidified defensive positioning.
He looked like he was still moving.
Yeah. Green going to bring it into the forecourt, off to Howard. Doesn't mind playing that mid-floor position, even though he's 6'8". Yoshida, far side, the product of Germany, gets it down into the corner right. Howard to Yoshida. Work it back out high to Rollins. There's Zach. Bounce out. Well, 3 taking him out of necessity, but I'll tell you, Brendan Howard has the range, and all of a sudden it becomes 25-17, and 6 minutes left. Half number 1. Western Oregon again. Center of the floor, and now allow Lubom to drive in and put it up. And he's done that twice. He's gone left side on the far side of the hoop. And that takes some English to get the ball up that way.
Use the offhand going to the right side of the rack.
Howard, ball knocked away. Western Oregon on a quick run out. Lubom, right side. Hawkins, is that? No. Yes, Riley Hawkins for 3 from long range. So back-to-back buckets. Cut the lead from 25-17 to 25-22.
Hawkins' first points of the contest, he averages 12.3 to pace Western Oregon.
Yeah, that's one of the lowest high-scoring totals for a team that I can recall.
Right.
For quite a while.
Why I questioned in the beginning of the game how many they score.
Rollins comes down with a missed shot. Down floor, Lubom, the left-hander, going to take it from straight on and knock it in. And we've tied the game at 25. Well, that's why they score a lot of points, because they put them together in bunches. And that's only the second tie of the contest coming here. Now at the 4:39 mark, and a timeout on the floor quickly for, and you can see the Lubom 3, how quickly he got into that stroke. So 30-second timeout will keep things as they are right here with the score 25-25. And again, Montana State Billings was edging out a little bit. They're up by 2, up by 4, and next thing you see, they're up by a total of 9. 4 times score has been tied now. There have been 8 lead changes. Those came in the opening minutes when it was 6-5, 7-6, 8, back and forth like that. But then Montana State Billings had been owning this quarter. There's a 3-ball shot there you saw a moment ago from Brendan Howard. Montana State Billings now finds itself in a 25-all tie, but with the basketball. Green into the forecourt. Worked out to Rollins. Jump cross-court pass. Green won't take that three, but he'll step into a relatively long three, and he'll miss it. Western Oregon now on the run out, looking to take the lead back. There's a penetration, and the ball stuck. Second time we've seen this today. If you're a physics major, I would like you, or some kind of advanced math major, and here's a good look at what happens. Now watch. There it is, and boom. What is the odds of that happening, and what is the odds of that happening more than once in a day of games? The odds have to be astronomical. The circumference of the ball, the width of the rim there. I mean, so much comes into play to ever see that happen. Here's Rollins. Yeah.
Rim has curve on it.
It doesn't seem possible. Western Oregon. Lou Baum. Foul called as he went around a screen. A reach-in foul going to be called against one of the Montana State Billings players. That foul is actually going to be called against Kobe Terashima, and now we've come to a timeout, so let's step aside. 3:39 left, half number one, 25-all tie. Free throws to come as part of the 2019 Men's Basketball Championships of the Great Northwest Athletic Conference here on GNAC.TV.
On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Seattle Pacific University is a premier Christian university where each year 4,000 students catch a vision for making a difference in the world. All across the globe, SPU graduates are making an impact in medicine, technology, athletics, business, education, music, theater, and more. SPU is dedicated to outstanding scholarship and thoughtful faith. It's a powerful combination that brings about change in the lives of graduates and in the people and communities they serve. Seattle Pacific University, engaging the culture, changing the world.
Back in Bellingham as you see Lou Baum to the rack, laying it up and in for Western Oregon.
And wanting the foul but not getting it.
Does that surprise you?
No. Western Oregon looking to regain the lead in what's been a seesaw affair. Hawken, well, they're not going to do it there as Western Oregon turns over the basketball, and Terashima brings it into the forecourt now. Across the top to Rollins. Around the screen, goes baseline, he was fouled. That's a good call. Reach-in foul there against Buster Souza. And that will be the 8th team foul on Western Oregon. So free throws to come here for Zach Rollins. Now it's going to be a 1-and-1 situation. Zach Rollins attempted to give Montana State Billings the lead back. Front end, good. Well, he earns the bonus. Rollins, free throw shooter this year. Extremely solid. Extremely. 84.7%. 26-25. MSUB, second one on the way. That too is good.
Rob, the Yellow Jackets have hit some free throws, but they haven't hit a field goal since the 6:11 mark, over 3 minutes.
Yeah, just over 3 minutes. Lou Baum, step back three. This one is no good. And that time Rollins doing a nice job boxing out. Here's Green down floor. Return it to Rollins. Can he pull up on a long three and hit it?
You see the difference in both those shots? Lou Baum's kind of knuckled, didn't have a lot of rotation. And then Rollins had plenty of rotation, knocked it down.
Generally good free throw shooters are good perimeter shooters as well. I've noted that over the years. Here's Lou Baum, spins in the lane, kick it back out. Warner with it. Return pass to Lou Baum, and he'll bring it back out center floor once again. Shot clock at 5. Stop and go move, step through move, leave it off. And did Susie get the shot up in time? No, he did not. Far side official said that the shot was not taken in time. So it's going to be Montana State Billings with the basketball on the shot clock violation. And MSUB going to make a change. Saran Richmond going to return as Christian's going to head back to the bench. It was very, very close. It would have been if that had been the final couple of minutes of the game, that might have been one they wanted to take a look at one more time.
A little surprised they didn't look at that.
Terashima to Yoshida. Sven into the right corner to Rollins. They work it back out high to the point guard, Terashima. Jump pass, open look, 3 on the way. A little too strong, though, by Richmond. And Western Oregon down by 5 with the basketball as we approach the 1.5 minute mark left. Here's a 3 on the perimeter. Bounces off the rim, a long rebound, and then Western Oregon throws it away. Nice job by Olanda Baker to come up with a missed shot. But then as he went in the lane, it looked to me like Hawken was getting ready for rebounding positioning, and the pass game to him surprised him a bit.
Yeah, Hawken was not ready for that pass. Either that or he thought maybe it went off of a yellow jacket.
So Western Oregon going to D up at about 3/4 court. Yoshida on the near side. They work it down low. Howard doubled up, steps through, puts it up, misses it. Put back shot on the inside by Richmond. He misses it too. Might have got away with a little bit of a shove in there as well to get that offensive rebound. Into the forecourt, Western Oregon going to take a long 3, and Hawken going to knock it down from the perimeter.
Hawken making up for missing that pass underneath the basket, draining the 3 from the top.
Now here's Yoshida going to take a runner, misses it. Western Oregon on the run out. And Lubom going to go end to end, put up the runner in the lane, missed the shot, rebound taken down by Terashima. That's not the game the Montana State Billings wants to get in, headlong rushes from end to end. They want to keep it a little more controlled, and they are able to settle it in the forecourt here. Yoshida, Richmond, Rollins, a long ranger. It's going to miss. Lubom with another rebound. 34 seconds left to go. There's about a 6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Warner going to penetrate, and he'll be fouled with 21.6 left. Now that is going to be the 6th team foul, so unless they call an active shooting foul.
You should have hit with the foul.
I guess so. And they're going to call it shouldn't be a shooting foul. It will not be then. So right now, Western Oregon with 20 on the shot clock at new 20 and 21.6 on the game clock could play for the final shot if they so choose for the most part.
One shot, Caleb. One shot. Bring it out.
And Lubom going to bring the ball back out. You hear Jim Shaw going to go ahead and play for that final shot if he wants. Lubom, he's going to penetrate. Good dish and a foul call. He got it off to Eton Collins. 6'6" freshman out of Federal Way. And the foul goes against, who was it? Oh, Richmond. Well, Richmond reached in.
You could have given it to him or Rollins.
Yeah. I'm not so sure Rollins wasn't maybe the more guilty party.
They give it to Richmond.
So there's a good look at Eton Collins, southpaw. They got a number of lefties on this Western Oregon team. He hits the free throw to make it 30-29. He could knot the score here with 6.1 seconds left. Western Oregon, though, would still see Montana State Billings with a good opportunity to get a shot off at least. He knocks that one down, so we are knotted at 30 all. Inbounds, near steal, and was stolen And here is Hawkins, puts it up. 32-30, Western Oregon with a big steal there and a foul called as well.
You're going to get Riley Hawkins for taunting a technical foul.
Wow.
The Western Oregon bench not agreeing whatsoever, but I could see it from my position, the stare down right there, yelling. And the stare down. Nice job by his freshman teammate Eton Collins, giving him a little shove, saying you can't do that, regardless of whether it should be a penalty or not, a technical foul.
Well,
Collins has the right mindset. Like, come on, man, we're better than that. It's tournament time.
one more for Montana State Billings, both down the well, and we are tied with 1.3 seconds left, plus Montana State Billings will have the basketball once again. But what was lost in all of that was Brandell Evans' great defensive play to steal the inbounds pass that even gave Hawken the opportunity to get a shot off. Inbounds, Terashima, he'll just dribble out the first half. He'll say, well, we'll go into the locker room tied at 32, and that's indeed what's going to be the case. 32-32 through the first 20 minutes of the contest here, as both teams go ahead and adjourn to their respective locker rooms. But, boy, I tell you, we've got a good one going once again here tonight. Halftime tonight, we're going to have the opportunity for an interview. We're going to have the opportunity to have join us here courtside Curtis Campbell, Western Oregon University's athletic director. We'll get to that conversation during our halftime report of the 2019 Men's GNAC Championships that you're watching right here on GNAC.tv.
Athletic trainers work tirelessly to provide compassionate care for all. From preventing injuries to rehabilitating patients back to top form and every step in between. They provide all aspects of care. March is National Athletic Training Month. To learn more about athletic trainers, visit nata.org.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades.
You know what amazes me? There's this incredible opportunity for a job that allows you to grow as a person, a job that allows you to take on the hats of so many other professions. If you think about what a teacher does, they're an accountant, they're a lawyer, they're a judge, they're sometimes even the jury. Sometimes they're the ones creating content and sometimes they're the ones consuming the content. As a teacher, I get to do every other job out there. If people realize that, we wouldn't have a teacher shortage.
Welcome back to Carver Gymnasium. I'm Robert Lowry, and the man to my left here is Curtis Campbell. He is the athletic director at Western Oregon University, and my pleasure to have you join us here at Press Table tonight. And I guess basketball success for Western Oregon, and we're seeing tonight a good one, 32-32 at the half. But that has come so rapidly for Western Oregon. 2 GNAC championships in the last 3 years. Trips to the national tournament as well. Well, I'll tell you one thing, you've done a great job helping to spearhead this basketball resurgence down there in Western Oregon.
I don't know if I can take any credit for that. I think Coach Shaw takes the credit, and I think he's done really well. And, you know, he sort of spoiled the fans and the alum, because once you do it a couple of times, you know, they expect it every year. And I think just him and his staff and his recruiting. He's a great recruiter, and all credit goes to them.
Well, again, it's the culture that you have down there in Western Oregon, doing things the right way. That's become kind of the motto of a lot of schools, but you certainly have done things the right way. You've done great in basketball. I understand that you've hired a couple of new coaches. When you select coaches, as you have, are there certain things you look for, not only in terms of X's and O's or program design, but other intangibles you look for as well?
Well, I think recruiting is important at Division II level, and so coaches that are proven recruiters and have been out there and done it, that's one of the things I think that most ADs look for in a good coach is recruiting, because you can only coach the talent you have, and then somebody that's played by the rules. You know, they've done things the right way and built programs, and not so much as build teams each year, but build some programs. And so there's a few factors that you look at when you're looking at new coaches.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What is the difference between building a team and building a program?
When you build a program, you bring in freshmen. You know, so you're bringing in freshmen every year, so you can consistently be good year after year. Now, you'll always bring in some JUCO kids or whatever to fill some gaps, 2 or 3, but you want to make sure you have plenty of, the foundation is freshmen. And that's how you build programs, is with freshmen. You know, yeah.
And obviously that's something, when you look at the roster here for Western Oregon, the one thing I notice is it is so youth, it's such a youth movement that you're seeing out there. So you're talking about building a program through the underclassmen. Certainly that is something that's being shown here tonight.
So we can be good year after year after year. That's what it's all about.
Well, I know it's something that's important, and you talk about the importance of recruiting. When student athletes come to a campus, whether they do it cognitively or it's just a feel they get, the facilities and the feel of where they're going to be performing in every particular sport is certainly important to them. And you've made and are making some very noteworthy improvements down there at Western Oregon in that regard.
Yeah, we're real excited about the softball facility. Like, we got new turf infield, we got a new drainage system in the outfield, new backstop. It's really a nice facility now, and so it's almost like a new facility. And baseball had turf infield already, and so we got them new drainage in the outfield. And so hopefully we can play some games at home. I know in the past we hadn't been able to play games at home because the field didn't drain well and water would build up, and so hopefully we'll get some home games in now. And so it was great for our president and for the rest of the institution as far as that turf infield, because we spent some money on athletics, and that's a great thing because it doesn't happen often.
Now, you have been at Western Oregon. I think this is your second full year, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You enjoying your time down there at Monmouth? And are you seeing the athletic department as a whole come to the level that you want it to be at?
Well, we're getting there. We're taking positive steps. Like, we're increasing scholarships. You know, we got more scholarship dollars this year than we had last year. Next year, we're going to have more scholarship dollars than we had this year. You know, so we're taking positive steps. You know, the improvement in facilities with softball and baseball. We actually got new drainage on the soccer field last summer. And so that, all of those are taking positive steps. You know, we want to be where we're in the top half of the conference every year in every sport. You know, I say my goals for our athletic department is we want to graduate students and win championships. You know, 2 simple goals. And, you know, if we do that, then we're doing a lot of the little things right, because there's a lot of little things that's involved to graduating students and winning championships. And so those are my 2 goals, and we're taking steps toward it. And I'm real excited about the future of Western Oregon athletics, because I think I think we have some teams that are playing well already and in the mix every year, and we want to get the rest of them up there so that every year, every sport, we're in the mix.
And I guess another thing, and I want to, maybe I'm catching you cold on this, you excited about the recently announced alliance between the GNAC and the Lone Star in terms of football and allowing the teams to play each other on a consistent basis?
Oh, yeah. I'm real excited about that, because that was very important to the future of football here in the Northwest Division II football. And so, There's just a few of us up here in the Northwest that still play football, and so this allegiance, this alliance with the Lone Star will allow us to get our Division II conference games every year, and I think they're a very strong conference, and they're also in our region, in our super region, and so it'll be in-region Division II games, and so that's very important.
Well, it's going to be a ton of fun. Now that's not next year. It's a year after that it goes into effect. But we're looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to talking with you more, sir. It's been a pleasure to have you join us here tonight, and we'll be talking again very soon. Curtis Campbell, he is the Western Oregon University Athletic Director. Right now, he sees his team in a 32-32 deadlock with Montana State Billings here at the 2019 GNAC Men's Basketball Championships. Back with more of our halftime right after this here on GNAC.TV.
Hey Wildcat fans, be a part of the Central Washington University Athletics family by joining the Wildcat Club today. Wildcat members provide a positive experience and competitive resources for more than 400 student athletes. Your donation supports a program on the rise where students excel both on the field and in the classroom. Make a gift to Wildcat Athletics by going to wildcatsports.com or call 509-963-2281. Go Cats!
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieve a lot of the financial burden.
The world is full of possibilities, and at Montana State University Billings, we're making them a reality. It's a place to discover yourself and discover your way to make a difference in the colleges of arts and sciences, education, business, workforce industries, and allied health professions. The outcome? Knowledge, skills, hands-on experience, and connections for life.
(32-32) the count here at halftime. It's Western Oregon and Montana State Billings quarterfinal action at the GNAC Men's Basketball Championships. Sean Wally right here. I'm Robert Lowery right here, and I tell you, it is obviously going to be another game that's going to go right down to the wire. I mean, we've seen it all day. I don't think there's any chance that this one is going to be anything different than what we've seen in the games earlier. Central Washington wins late in the contest. Earlier in the day, Western Washington wins late in the contest. In the earlier men's action, Northwest Nazarene wins by 1 point at the end. And in this one, we're tied at halftime at 32-all.
After the first 20 minutes, it's 0-0. So you're exactly right. There's no reason to believe that's going to change. Hopefully at the end of another 20 minutes, somebody has at least a 1 point lead like we have seen earlier throughout the day.
Well, we haven't had an overtime contest yet today, but again, I'm not so sure. With as tight as we've had, we're not going to get one sometime in this tournament. The first half numbers in this one, Western Oregon, by the way, came out quite early. I don't know if you noticed this. From their halftime break to get up some shots, and I'm a little surprised why, because actually of the two teams, they shot significantly better in the first half than did their opponents, Montana State Billings.
They did, and they also have a 16-10 advantage, points in the paint, but the game is tied. So it explains why things are so close. A lot of similarities between these two clubs in this first half, but MSU Billings shooting just 34%, but they have made 4 3-pointers, but conversely so has Western Oregon. So you think one might be better than the other. You get down to it.
That steals category, that's what, when I look at the first half stat numbers, that's what jumps out at me. Because again, this Western Oregon squad is the one that has been getting 8 steals a game against Montana State Billings. Right now they're tied at 2-2. That shows that Montana State Billings is doing a better job of handling the pressure that comes the way of Montana State Billings via Western Oregon's defense, which led the GNAC in steals in the regular season at 8 a game.
232 for the regular season. That's a ton of steals.
I think a lot of coaches would take that over the course of maybe a 4-year situation, or at least 2 years. That is a ton of steals, 8 a game, and again, they've had double figures recorded in each of the games, 13 and 10 in the previous 2 games. So again, Montana State Billings, and you can see them right there, huddled up. You can't really see them. Mick Durham, their head coach, in the midst of that huddle somewhere. There he is. You can just see him peeking through a bit. And he's going to give his team a few last-second words of advice and encouragement. Western Oregon breaks the huddle first, and they come back out on the floor. Riley Hawken is out there. Also Brandell Evans. Checking the rest of their lineups. Caleb Warner.
7 halves in the book, partner.
Yep.
1 left.
We got 1 left here today. So each team starting the way that they began the contest here at Carver Gymnasium. This is Western Oregon in the white with the basketball. And a foul called. Pretty good play defensively there by Melvin Newburn Jr. Just got a little bit too handsy, a little bit too grabsy a little bit, and came up with the foul. So first team foul in the first 16 seconds of half number 2. Inbounds. They work it back in the lane and putting up a short shot on the inside, Brandell Evans, and he missed it. Down floor, Joshida casts off on a quick long 3 that he can't get to drop. Western Oregon, again offensively. Evans leaves behind him for Hawkins' 3. Bounce off the rim. Evans with a great offensive rebound. Western Oregon get another chance. Hawkins shoots it, drops it, scores it, and the and 1 to come.
A great rebound on the offensive end by Evans. You see that reach, that extension, and then Hawkins slashing to the bucket. Fouled. Potential and 1.
Well, the foul on Green there on the reach in. Hawkins gives Western Oregon the lead now at 35-32. Green into the forecourt for Montana State Billings around the high pick. And a little high-low action on the inside, and getting the bucket inside, Zeron Richmond. Actually, there was one change as Brendan Howard is starting the second half for the Billings team.
See Richmond inside, double-teamed, bumped, fouled, hits the floor, bucket is good. He answers for the Yellow Jackets after the Wolves have their own 3-point play.
Well, opportunity for a 3-point play here for Zeron Richmond. Played his high school basketball there in Billings and stayed home, but misses the free throw. So it remains a 1-point Western Oregon lead. A couple of 3-point opportunities to begin the second half. Brashear going to step back 3 and hit it.
His first bucket of the night, a big one, a 3-pointer, giving the Wolves a 4-point advantage.
Well, that's their big lead of the night. They had leads as big as 3 in the first half. Campbell with the basketball out to Green. They work it to the near side to Collins. Out high to Green. Shot clock at 5. He's used up his dribble. Hands off to Rollins coming around the outside. Makes the attempt missed everything though. Shot clock violation, Montana State Billings. Back to Western Oregon.
Western Oregon the chance to extend their lead, already up 4 as we approach 2 minutes gone, second half.
Western Oregon, the defending 2018 Great Northwest Athletic Conference champs, looking to go back-to-back here. Down low, Souza with the basketball. Just muscles his way to the hoop and gets it to drop.
Surprised there
extends
was
the lead.
No whistle either direction, whether a block or a charge.
Well, getting a timeout called here by Montana State Billings. I think Mick Durham is going to ask the officials the same thing. Wants to talk a little bit about the situation, and with that, we're going to have a full timeout, so we'll take a pause. You can see the basket right here. There is Souza, takes it to 40-34. You're watching the GNAC Men's Basketball Tournament on GNAC.tv.
Baseball for me just kind of was the glue that kept my family together. I feel like I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
Now there you can see Western Oregon breaking its huddle and heading back out onto the floor. We're a couple of minutes into the second half, but Western Oregon has jumped out early with a 6-point second half lead. Montana State Billings looking to answer here. Green, Rollins down low. Looking down low for Howard, but they can't get Howard the basketball. So Green going to take a slashing drive and pass across. Out to Yoshida for 3. Back rims it no good. Sven missed a couple of threes this half so far. Down floor, Western Oregon. Brashear with the basketball. They work it down low right. Souza. Hand off to Hawkins. Return pass to Souza. In the paint. Spins, and he's going to be called for steps, no question. So turnover back to Montana State Billings. Green having a little full court pressure to contend with from Brandell Evans. Evans has had a couple of great plays tonight, stealing an inbounds pass on an offensive rebound. They were simply hustle plays. Here's Rollins across the top to Richmond. Hand back off to Rollins. Now to Richmond. Those two continue a two-man game, and then a shot from Rollins head of the key, rims in and out.
Good look from the Yellow Jackets, just wouldn't drop.
Evans with the basketball to a cutting Souza, lays it up and in.
Souza doing a nice job of moving without the basketball, creating now an 8-point lead. As Evans
turns the ball over right in front of the Western Oregon bench. Matter of fact, Montana State Billings to the first few minutes only has 2 points.
See the last bucket by the Wolves. Souza in the lane, and now the great work defensively for Evans, creating the turnover. Wolves have the ball back.
Brandell Evans has been the star of the game for me to this point, no questions. He scores right there. Evans played at Cochise College, but he actually hails from your neck of the woods down there in Olympia. And went to California and now playing for Western Oregon. And here is Howard with a powerful move on the inside. That was needed there. As Western Oregon now back up by 8. Jim Shaw right in front of us patrolling the bench. And here's Evans, puts up a left-hander that's missed. Souza tips the rebound, but it goes to Montana State Billings. Green back to Terashima. Kobe has returned. Here's Richmond pull-up pop, missed the shot. Brashear with the rebound and the push. No numbers, so Western Oregon will set it up. They'll generally try to move center floor, and somebody will try to attack the middle portion of the paint. Instead, Brashear launches the 3 and hits.
What a pretty shot. High arcing, great rotation. An 11-point Wolf lead.
Well, as big as it has been all tournament for them. Here is Howard up and under move, and he hits the deck, and bodies fall. And it's going to be free throw time now for Brendan Howard, the GNAC Freshman of the Year.
Foul on Brendell Evans of the Wolves.
And with that, timeout on the Florets, and we'll go ahead and step aside as well. There's Western Oregon heading to the bench. And you're watching the 2019 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Championships on GNAC.TV.
Athletic trainers work tirelessly to provide compassionate care for all. From preventing injuries to rehabilitating patients back to top form and every step in between. They provide all aspects of care. March is National Athletic Training Month. To learn more about athletic trainers, visit nata.org.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back here in Bellingham, you take a look at Western Oregon, and Souza attacking the rack. And they're up 11 with 14:43 left, Rob.
Matter of fact, they've gone on a 15-4 run to begin this second half. There's a good look at Montana State Billings. Freshman of the year in the GNAC, Brendan Howard, misses the first of 2 free throws. Howard went to Eastern Washington, decided to head back home, and he hits the second free throw. Wanted to play in Montana.
It's beautiful country.
It really is, and that Billings part of the country is very nice. Western Oregon with the lead at double digits now. And here is Lubaum, who had some fine moments in the first half. He's going to take another jump shot. Well, it looks like he maybe thought about passing at the last second. It came up short either way and over to Montana State Billings.
The Yellow Jackets need to take advantage of every opportunity, turnover, non-score by the Wolves to get back in this game.
Terashima into the forecourt. Terashima, 6'1", 155, just a sophomore out of Boise. Playing for Montana State Billings. Terashima looks to drive, spin, up and under, put it up good. Didn't even use the window.
What a great pirouette in the lane by Terashima.
So the lead back into single digits. And here's Brashear, who's hit a couple of threes. This time he looks to penetrate and he's fouled. A couple of Western Oregon players there pick 'em foul. Might be on Richmond or Rollins. They're both in the vicinity.
Take a look at Terashima in the lane. The scoop from the hip. The headband doing good work.
Well, Kobe's his name, and it's a good basketball name, no question. Here is Brashear, head of the circle. They're working from Hawkins to Lubaum. Looking down low to Hawken once again. Turns, shoots off the window. Well, I'll tell you, you can't do it much better than that. High post, pass to the corner, post, get it, turn, window, deuce.
Picturesque for Hawken. He has 11 tonight.
Terashima in a double team. They work it to Richmond. Terashima down low. On the baseline, trying to fight through and come up with his shot is Howard. Finally gets a shot from the baseline, no good. Richmond is able to go up and tip the rebound to himself. He'll now attack and score.
Even with the points, a lot of one guy wanting to make the move for the Yellow Jackets. Be nice if they involved ball movement and their other teammates.
Yeah, there's been rare passing in the offensive end. Here's the runner in the lane. That Lou Baum it was. So Darius having a nice contest. And again, makes the 10-point lead. Green, handoff to Rollins across the top to Terashima. Around a high screen, return pass to Rollins. Now into a double team goes Rollins. Kick across court. Richmond, left corner, open shot, and a 3 ball is down by Green.
Needed to give the Yellow Jackets some life.
And that was better ball movement as 4 of the 5 players on the court touched the ball in that offensive series. This time Western Oregon, Holanda Baker back out to Brashear. Head of the key, thinking 3, has the taller Rollins on him, shoots anyway and rims in and out. Rebound Green, smallest guy on the floor, big rebound. And he brings it down floor. Going to attack, going to go inside with the left hand, high off the window, bounces around and will not go. Baker goes end to end the other way on a rush, misses the shot. Brashear put back good.
Second chance points, helping out the Wolves as they're up 9.
Now Western Oregon wants to get this kind of up and down pace. Here's Rollins with a 3 down floor. But this is their pace to get it up and down the floor. I'm not sure that's Montana State Billings' pace. But that time they beat Western Oregon at its own game.
Rollins shoots 36% from beyond the arc.
Here is a penetration move by Brashear. Makes the basket, but he was fouled before the shot was attempted. Western Oregon going to make wholesale changes. Matter of fact, both teams going to make changes. And they will do so, but not before we have a stoppage in play. Timeout on the floor. We'll pause as well. 11:06 to go in this second half of the final men's quarterfinal action of the 2019 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Tournament on GNAC.TV. Yeah, we'll feed you.
When you first visit Seattle Pacific University, it's easy to fall in love with the campus. But just ask one of the students. There's something different about SPU, a place where faith, service, and academic excellence meet. And it's the only private university in the Pacific Northwest to make the latest U.S. News and World Report Best National Universities list. This is Seattle Pacific University.
The first step is not to pick a project. The first step is to pick a problem. Every problem you approach, you look at it through the eyes of, what does God want us to do? What problem have we been called to fix? Why are we here now? And how can we use our unique skills to heal a little bit of hurt, to solve problems that exist?
Now you can see the Viking there emblazoning the floor at Carver Gymnasium, the site of the 2019 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Championships. There's a look at Jim Shaw right in front of us, perusing the statistics as you have done as well. Right now the main statistic is 53-47, the score on the scoreboard. And Western Oregon looking to potentially add to that with the penetration move, and the basket is up and in by Caleb Warner.
Western Oregon able to take the lead in the second half. Rob, they're shooting 60%.
Well, that'll win you some ball games, no question. Down low. Melvin Newburn Jr. It is Newburn Jr. who's just checked in. Scores down low, 55-49, still a 6-point game. And Western Oregon Again with the guard action out top. Long three. No good, and a rebounding foul off the off the miss by Western Oregon. It was Brian Berg. Is that who it was? No,
Souza.
Souza picked up the foul. Down floor here is Kobe. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You don't want to hand off to the big guy like that in traffic running the floor, which he did. Down floor, Lubom with the basketball. Penetrates. Pass off left. Jump on the baseline is up and good by Buster Souza.
Souza has 12 on the night, just when the Yellow Jackets were getting close. 2 buckets in a row by the Wolves.
Hand off, coming around the outside. That is Collins. Down low left to Christians. Back out high to Newbern. And now to Terashima to Newbern. And he just dribbled right into a turnover. On the run out the other way and scoring the basket inside was Orlando Baker. Nice job by the Wolves as they nearly come up with another steal. Instead, Montana State Billings gets a look what I found basket by Melvin Newbern Jr. 59-51. That was very nearly another turnover there by Montana State Billings. Western Oregon with the basketball. Baker with it. Top side left. Driving in and coming up into a turnover himself was Caleb Warner, I believe, on the held ball situation. Big scrum for it there. And it looks like Terry Shima was a man who got in on top of the loose basketball as well. Substitutes.
Picking the pocket. Coming the other way for Western Oregon. Baker with the steal and the lay-in.
I think Rollins was looking for him to go with the right hand. Instead, he went with the left hand there, and that might have surprised him a bit. Here's a look at the Montana State bench. Montana State Billings bench, and that's a good look at Brendan Howard. Howard out of Kalispell, Montana. And Green is back in to run the point. This is a very young Montana State Billings team, too. The only guy who's a senior is the one handling the ball right there, Rollins, off to Richmond. Actually, they have 3 seniors. And here is a driving bucket up. Are they going to count it by Howard or not?
Calling it on the floor.
Well, here's
not
a replay
allowing
for
the
you.
Continuation. The foul's right there. He's driving the lane. Not sure about that.
Sven Yoshida, senior. Hafez Abdul, also a senior. We haven't seen him tonight from Montana State Billings. Here's Rollins, quick jumper off the inbounds, the other senior. But other than that, this is a fully underclass team. So don't be surprised to see Montana State Billings back in the hunt in the years ahead. Here's Brashear out high. They work it from the one side to the other side and back, side to side they go. Now Brashear going to penetrate. Tries to fend off the defender, puts it up in traffic, misses the shot. Rollins rebounds for the Yellow Jackets.
Time starting to be an issue. Yellow Jackets need to take advantage of every miss by the Wolves.
8-point game. Here's Green around ahead of the key, pulls up 3. That's not the shot you're looking for in that situation, I don't believe. Western Oregon to bring it down floor now. Lou Baum again handling for the Wolves. Wearing the white unis with the crimson trim. Lou Baum penetrates, puts up with the right hand and gets it to drop. And one thing I've noticed about these Western Oregon guards, they're very good using their offhand. If they're right, they can use their left hand. If they're lefty, they can use their right hand. They're doing a nice job tonight. They bumped the lead out to 10. Here's a quick 3 from the perimeter by Howard is good.
I was about to say not the shot you want, but when they go in, it's a great shot.
That's one of those things. No, good idea. Yeah, you always look great when you make the basket. Here's a spin and a penetration and a bucket and an and one for Brandell Evans. Evans, Lou Baum, Baker, And the Brashear, for that matter, they've all done great in that position tonight, being able to go one-on-one. And there's a timeout now in play. Stoppage in action, 6:52 left to go. We'll be back with more right here on GNAC.tv.
Dear Adam, you're balancing a lot right now, man. I know. But continuing your education was the right choice. You can do anything you put your mind to. Remember how you transformed from a troublemaker to a mentor? It's like you always tell your students, to see improvement, you have to challenge yourself. Trust me, with the professors you meet along the way and the lives you impact, it'll all be worth it. Sincerely, me.
Dear Virginia, remember when you decided to stop listening to the doubters and pursue the career you wanted? I've always admired that about you. When things get hard, you just work harder. I want you to know that with your network of supporters who encourage you along the way, you'll not only accomplish your dream of becoming an engineer, you'll go on to help other students accomplish theirs. So don't worry, you're gonna rock this. Sincerely, me.
Back in Bellingham, Howard for 3 of his 13 on the night, trying to keep the Yellow Jackets in it.
Well, he makes it right there from that long-range shot. But again, very, very needed. 63-54, 9-point game. And after the foul, the and one is up and good for Brandell Evans.
Western Oregon still shooting out the gym, 54% for the game.
Right now, Montana State Billings looking for an answer, and Rollins going to shoot a long 3, and he'll knock it down.
He's going to have to get hot and stay hot if the Yellow Jackets crawl back in this one.
Well, that's a 7-point game, though, and we've seen leads evaporate today earlier. Here is Brashear going to drive, put the right hand off the window for 2.
Somebody needs to stop penetration. There's got to be some help side on defense.
Terashima playing a little catch with Howard. Now at high Rollins. He's going to penetrate, go inside, put it up, get fouled. Brashear arguing that he was straight up and down, but the officials didn't see it that way. And all of a sudden, Zach Rollins, the best free throw shooter on this Montana State Billings team, to the free throw line. As we mentioned earlier, 85+% from the stripe. Mick Durham, the Montana State Billings coach, calling out some instructions as we watch the replay there of Rollins making the bucket and going to the free throw line for the old-fashioned three-point play. Or actually, he missed the bucket, but now going to the free throw line for the second free throw. Hits the first and one more in this trip to the stripe. And there it is. 66-59. So again, 7-point lead. Lubom walking into the forecourt. Yoshida has him defensively. Off right to Evans. Brandell penetrates. Bounce back out on the angle to Lubom. To Hawkins. And now here's Brashear as they all get to touch the basketball. Brashear penetrates into the corner. 3-ball up and good by Eton Collins. All 5 Western Oregon players touch the ball on that in that sequence right there, and that's good ball movement. Back the other way, here's Howard inside, scores it. It'll count, and he got fouled.
Howard still doing good things. Now with 15 on the night, as you see him use the left hand into the lane. Get bumped, finish the shot, to the line he goes.
That was also the 16th foul in Western Oregon, and Howard's free throw is good. So again, they're just hanging around. They're within striking distance. You certainly want to be closer than 7 going down the stretch. But as that is the case, big three-point play there by Howard to get it back into single digits. Collins near side, Again, weave action out top by Western Oregon. This has been their standard operating procedure tonight, and then allow the guards to attack and either score or get it back out for shots from the perimeter. And here is Evans, penetrates and gets it to drop.
Yellow Jackets don't all look on the same page on defense.
It'd be interesting to see of the field goal percentage tonight, how many actually came on layups or dunks for Western Oregon. Rollins from long range.
Rollins is a long way from home in Pelham, New York, but he doesn't care. Knocking down that three.
Well, he played at San Bernardino Valley College as well, so he's played on both coasts. And now here is Western Oregon, pitch it out to Hawkins, into the corner, right to Lou Baum, and he'll bring it back out top. Lou Baum with the shot clock in single digits. Didn't seem to matter. Drives in, lays it in. And again, that's one of the reasons you're going to shoot a high percentage if you're able to get lay-ins on your offensive possessions. 73-65. It's the Great Northwest Athletic Conference men's basketball quarterfinals here on GNAC.TV.
Western Oregon University, where together we succeed.
Back here in Bellingham, and a three for the Yellow Jackets. So you look at Rollins trying to keep his club in this game.
Well, and also to extend his career. Because again, as we mentioned, one of the few seniors who are playing here tonight. He's certainly playing with a sense of urgency as we head down the stretch with 4:12 left.
Rob, we've wondered if this can continue the hot shooting by Western Oregon. But it is. They're shooting 57% from the field the entire game, 69% this half.
And again, laying. And that's the reason why. Good pass inside. And I don't know exactly how they got it down to where they did to Howard, but he laid it in. And again, here we are, 6-point game. Caleb Warner had it for a moment, but he gets it back into the hands of one of those Western Oregon guards. And again, come around the screen, look to penetrate. This time they work it down to Hawkins. He goes to the lane with a rolling right-hander, good.
Hawkins' first points in a long time. He has 15.
Well, they haven't needed him, that's the thing. Now Western Oregon has gone to a 2-3 zone. First time we've seen them go into this defensive configuration. Long perimeter shot is no good. And the rebound taken down, and Western Oregon in no hurry whatsoever as Brandell Evans walks into the forecourt. Off right, pass comes. And here is Lou Baum into the corner. Warner decides not to cast off from there. Collins back off to Lou Baum. And defensively, step back, shoots the long two. Terashima did a nice job that time, not allowing him to attack the 10. Now Green into the forecourt. Now Montana State Billings is going to need to hurry things up just a bit as we're at the 2:25 mark, and it's still a 6-point game.
A lot of standing around by the Yellow Jackets.
Here's a slashing drive. They work it low to Richmond, and he lost it. And a big turnover there for the Yellow Jackets.
You would think Head coach Mick Durham for the Yellow Jackets would want to see more movement and motion by the 5 on the floor.
And there's a good look at Mick. He's going to head back down to his bench. Lubom across the timeline to Hawken, back to Lubom. Penetrates, jump pass to Hawken. Now Western Oregon again just going to work it around the perimeter and then allow the guards to attack if they can. Hawken, get it back out. Here's Evans, penetrate and foul. Reach in foul on the perimeter. Called on Green, so Tyler picks up the foul. And that's his 5th.
Look at Evans in the lane, splitting the defenders, getting fouled.
And Tyler Green heads to the bench, junior out of Redding, California. That'll be the last we will see him tonight. Maybe last we'll see him at this tournament if Montana State Billings can erase this 6-point lead, make this 8-point lead. And here is Lubom inside, a little roller. Shot off the left side of the rim, missed it. Forecourt Richmond moves in for a free throw pop, missed it as well. We're at the 92nd mark in this one. And Western Oregon now is going to go ahead and slow things down just a bit. No hurry here. Brashear, Hawken, Collins, Western Oregon on the verge of going into action tomorrow against the team they beat. And here's a long 3 by Brashear, going to bounce off the rim, that they beat in the championship last year, St. Martin's. Down floor, Terashima off to Rollins for 3, no good. Howard puts it back up and in. 75-69, and a quick timeout for Montana State Billings. But again, just 58.6 seconds remaining, and the lead at 6. What's going to happen here is Montana State Billings probably going to need to get a rebound, a bucket, and try to get in a situation where you could foul and play that foul situation free throw game. Right now, a 6-point lead. And again, a 6-point lead in this tournament this year, that seems like a significant lead heading into the final minute. Earlier games today have been decided by seconds. There's a good look at the Carver Gymnasium floor, refurbished a few years ago. Well, I tell you, it's beautifully lit in this facility, easy to see in here. Good crowd venue. Just good venue for everything. Players. The only complaint I've heard from the players is the rims here are tight. I guess that's what any player is going to say when they're not shooting the ball particularly well. But nice soft floor. Nice give to the floor. And that's important if a team is to play 3 games in 3 days, as well, one of these teams would have to do to win the GNAC championship. You want to make sure you preserve the legs as much as you can. 58.6 left. Into Brashear, back off to Hawken. Lubom, trap comes, he falls down, loses the basketball, and a quick timeout called by Jim Shaw to preserve the possession. Heady play by the Western Oregon coach there, as Lubom just hit a slick spot on the floor apparently, and had the skids go out from underneath him. So, and you can see it right here. Lubom, double team comes, just turned the corner, and that left foot kind of gave way, and he was trying to call a timeout. Rollins and Terashima were there trying to get on top quickly and force the tie-up situation. 51.8. It's going to be Western Oregon basketball. In terms of timeout situations, Western Oregon still has 2, so they're fine. Montana State Billings has 1. And so Western Oregon going to throw it in once again from midcourt, far side. Actually, Western Oregon just 1 timeout remaining now. Each team with 1 timeout remaining. And Western Oregon throws into the backcourt. Brandell Evans. Double team comes, throws across the top. Western Oregon now just going to try to play a game of keep away, and Sven Joseph is going to be forced to commit the foul. and that is his second. Sven, a senior too. I think maybe I overlooked him earlier. Sven Yoshida out of Roserath, Germany, riding that senior leadership this year. At the free throw line, Dalvin Brashear, Colorado Springs native, makes the first on what is a 1-and-1 situation. 76-69. This game certainly reminiscent of the first meeting that these two teams played. Western Oregon looking to win the third of the series this year. Terashima hands off to Rollins. Deep three, good. Wow. He was way outside when he launched that one, and he knocked it down. Zach Rollins from long range with the triple from the perimeter. I think Zach Rollins may be a guy who can go overseas, and you can see right here, look how far he is. That's well beyond NBA three-point distance as he knocks that down. 6'6", 205-pound senior out of Pelham, New York. He's been impressive here tonight, and he brings his team back to within 5 with 39 seconds left. McDurham devising strategy. After the 30-second timeout, his Billings squad's back on floor without any timeouts remaining. So that could be a bit of a problem here in the closing stages, but you got to use them when they're needed, and they're needed now. Inbounds to Evans. Brandell fouled after a couple seconds went off the clock. And we'll walk down to the other end. Rollins picks up the foul, his third. And at the free throw line, Brandell Evans. Evans, just a 64% free throw shooter this year. So not a bad choice as he misses it. And Rollins with the rebound. Quickly, down floor. Howard with the basketball, and he's fouled on the perimeter by Lubom picks up the foul, and that sends Howard to the free throw line with 28.4 seconds left. So free throws here could cut this lead to 3. He's able to hit them both. Front end, in and out, stays out. Boy, that's a big miss, and then a foul called on the rebounding play as Warner grabbed the rebound. That was a big front end miss there by the freshman of the year. Will walk to the other end of the court in order to shoot free throws for Warner. Caleb Southpaw of Rockhurst College. He went there, but he's a native of Seattle. Takes the free throw, and that may just about do it there. Makes it 78-72. 6-possession game, and if he hits this, it'll be a 3-possession game. So the Southpaw eyes, fires, and hits there too. 79-72. Inbounds, Terashima going to speed into the forecourt. You got to be thinking 3 here, don't you? Richmond. Terashima, jumper on the baseline, no good. Rebound tipped. And here's Lubom back down floor. And with 12 seconds left, Western Oregon is just going to go ahead and run out the clock here, and that'll do it. 79-72 is going to be the final count here tonight. The coaches meet at center floor, and, well, that'll do it. Western Oregon has the opportunity now to tomorrow take on St. Martin's. And ironically enough, when you look into the record book, well, just 365 days ago, roughly or so, those two teams also met for the Great Northwest Athletic Conference Championship at this point in the 2018 season. And, well, that one went to the Western Oregon Wolves, who have, well, been the champion, the GNAC tournament champion in 2 of the last 3 years. But St. Martin's, the regular season champion this year, they're looking to go ahead and try to be the conference champions as well this year, as they are the number 1 seed, St. Martin's, in the West region at this point, heading into postseason play. We're going to have the opportunity to hear from Jim Shaw, Western Oregon University coach. Let's send it down to the floor right now to Sean Wally.
Thanks, Rob. Here with the winning coach of the last game in the quarterfinals, Jim Shaw in Western Oregon. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Montana State Billings, a tough matchup for you. They got to hang around a little bit. When did you finally think it was going to go this route for you and get the victory?
Well, I thought we settled in offensively really well in the second half and got them moved around how we wanted. We're able to score almost at will, but we just couldn't seem to get a hand up on Rollins enough. He's a pretty good shooter, pretty big high release point. So I thought that his ability to make threes kept him in the game.
A nice job by your club, well-rounded scoring. You had 4 players in double figures tonight.
Yeah, we're a pretty balanced team. It's we don't have a defined go-to guy for sure, and we're pretty balanced, but I thought overall we did a lot of good things.
Your reward for the victory is St. Martin's tomorrow.
Yeah, they're obviously right now the number 1 team in the West, and we get an opportunity to play them, and we'll see what we can do.
Go enjoy this one, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Take care.
Head coach Jim Shaw of Western Oregon, his Wolves victorious tonight. They will battle St. Martin's tomorrow. Rob, back to you.
Well, thanks very much, Sean. Let's go ahead and give you some of the numbers from tonight's contest, won by Western Oregon. First of all, for Montana State Billings, their season concludes at 15-14. They were led by the 23 points of Zach Rollins. Rollins 5 of 12 on 3 tonight. Matter of fact, of his field goals this evening, 5 of his 6 came from behind the three-point arc. He also hit all 6 of his free throws, 23 points, and 4 assists in the contest for Rollins tonight. Also, Brendan Howard off the bench, 20 points tonight, and a team-high 6 rebounds in the contest. Single digits after that. Kobe Terashima had 9, 7 for Zeron Richmond, 7 as well for Melvin Newbern Jr. 3 points tonight for Sven Joshua and for Tyler Green. And Jordan Lehrer and Seth Christians played. They did not score. For the night, Montana State Billings, 25 of 56 from the field, 44%, nearly 45%. 10 of 23 on threes, 44% there. 12 of 16 from the free throw line. For Western Oregon, they had actually 5 players in double figures tonight, all kind of low to mid double figure range, led by the 15 of Riley Hawken. 13 points for Darius Lubom. 12 points tonight for Dalvin Brashear and also for Buster Souza. Caleb Warner had 11. After that, 7 points for Eton Collins and for Brandell Evans. 2 points for Olanda Baker. And Jalen Richardson and Cameron Cranston played. They did not score. Shooting, 31 of 56, but 19 of 30 from the field for Western Oregon in half number 2. Free throw line tonight, they were almost automatic, 10 of 11, 7 of 16 on threes. So they shot 55% from the field, 44% on threes, and 91% from the free throw line. They out-rebounded Montana State Billings 31-28, though Billings did have a 7-4 edge in the offensive glass. Assist department pretty even, 13 for Western Oregon, 14 for Montana State Billings. Turnovers tonight, 10 for Montana State Billings, 9 for Western Oregon. Block shots, not much to talk about. 2 Montana State Billings, 1 Western Oregon. And steals, a little bit of a surprise here. Western Oregon's averaging double-figure steals against Montana State Billings in the regular season. They came away with only 5 tonight, 3 from Montana State Billings. 7 times the score was tied. There were 9 lead changes tonight. But really, it was that big run to begin the third quarter that really turned things in Western Oregon's favor. They went on a 15-4 run over the first 5 minutes of the second half. And, well, Sean, pretty much after that, it was catch-up time, and Montana State Billings was never quite able to catch up all the way.
This one almost went like it should have on paper. Not a blowout, not a huge victory by the Wolves, but down the stretch, when moments counted, the Wolves came up big.
And they did today. And now, as you mentioned, you told Jim Shaw just a few minutes ago, your reward, you get a chance to take on the region's number 1 team in St. Martin's tomorrow. That'll be our nightcap tomorrow night at 7:30, we should say. Earlier in the day, we are going to have the women's quarterfinals and the other men's quarterfinal winners advancing to the semifinal action Central Washington, Alaska Anchorage will begin tomorrow at noon. Western Washington and Northwest Nazarene will be the women's other semifinal at 2:15. At 5:15 tomorrow night is going to be Northwest Nazarene University, as they were able to advance today, taking on Seattle Pacific. And then in the nightcap tomorrow night, it'll be the team you just saw, Western Oregon University taking on St. Martin's. We've got 4 great ones tomorrow. Noon, 2:15, 5:15, and 7:30 tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to it already.
Rob, it was a fun first day. Should be more excitement tomorrow. Another long day of basketball. Does it get any better?
And there's no long days of basketball. They're just extended periods of time watching the sport we love. And again, we wouldn't be able to do this if it weren't for the great work of the GNAC.TV crew. Thanks for their help today, and they'll be back. They'll be here long into the night tonight, getting ready for tomorrow. We hope you'll join us for all the action beginning at noon tomorrow. Now for Sean Wally, I'm Robert Lowry. Thanks for joining us for our GNAC TV coverage. We'll talk to you tomorrow for the GNAC 2019 men's and women's basketball semifinals right here on GNAC.TV. So long for now.